Hi, welcome to the Arsenal Fans Focus podcast. Today we're going to be diving into the most featured fixture in the Premier League. What I believe, the North London derby, Arsenal versus Tottenham, the Scums. All right, that's my opinion. I'll edit it out if I feel like editing that out. All right, but I'll edit. Do you want?
Stick with it, mate.
Okay, fine. But anyway. This week makes 198th meeting between Arsenal and Tottenham. Arsenal have dominated the derbies, which is whatever. All right, unbeaten in 2022, winning the last 5 fixtures and drawing the last one. Both teams close to the table. Arsenal 8 points clear of Spurs. All right. And both sides have injury lists. I know some people saying Spurs got more injuries than Arsenal, and both determined. And I know it. I know, speaking to my Tottenham boys, they are determined to stop Arsenal's win. They are determined. So both of us, I know we want to win this. We have to win this. Right, so joining me on this, again, my 2 guests, Jake and Adam, to break down all the key moments, all the key components, the injuries. We're going to do the prediction lineup and also the predictions of the score. And everyone else listening, stick around because I'll also be asking you, the fans, some questions to drop into the comments. So let's just dive straight into this. How are you guys feeling going into this derby today? And be totally honest. Any of you? Anyone?
I am a little bit nervous, but I think that's just the general pre-Tottenham nerves that I always have because I just want to absolutely demolish them, as we all do. It's a bit... I think the Gabriel injury is making it a bit more interesting. I think if we had Gabriel at the back, not that I don't think the either Hincapié or Timber might play there. Pretty sure probably Hincapié will just start there because he's a left footer. But yeah, I am nervous, but I just can't wait to get there. I haven't been to the Emirates for a couple of months, so I want to get up there and get 3 points on the board and smash Tottenham.
What do you reckon, man?
I'm pretty confident, to be honest. I say, as Jake says, I'm always nervous on the day of Spurs. It's just that kind of, it has a different feel to it. It's one of those games you think of a few days before that you normally think of other games. You know, it's been on the mind a lot this week. You see a lot more of the build up. There's a nervousness. I think again, the fact I know you mentioned unbeaten in 5 games, but I said they've only beaten us once at the Emirates in 20 odd years. So it's just that feel of like if they do win, it's that kind of, it's even worse than usual. It's been pretty even obviously at their ground over the last kind of 10 years, really. But yeah, I don't know, I'm fairly confident. I think their away record is a bit flattering. I don't think they've been brilliant in some of those away games, and I think they've got away with a couple. They've had some good wins, don't we? Not like City and Everton away, but I don't think we should fear them. They have got injuries, and I don't think. Gabriel's a massive blow. Anyone will miss Gabriel, but the squad's still strong. There's players potentially coming back. As I say, I think I said it last week. I think they're the longest odds I've seen Spurs to win our place probably since the early 2000s. I think there's a reason for that. I think we are a better side. And I'd be surprised if we don't win it. I would. And I think, it's probably only be nerves that's going to stop us, really.
Has the fixtures changed emotionally over the years for any of you?
Well, Spurs?
Yeah, the Spurs fixture, sorry.
I think, when Spurs, I started supporting Arsenal in the early 90s, and I didn't like Spurs then, but United was always the big game in the league. It was always, Spurs were your hated rivals, they were local, but as a kid, like United was the big game per season, especially when we were in the title race. I think once it got outside of where we weren't challenging for the title, my kind of, the Spurs game became even bigger, especially when they had that little run where they got up, obviously level of us, and then obviously above us in the league for a few years. It became even bigger. There was a time when, again during the 90s and early 2000s, where they really didn't take a point off us very often. I know 99 they beat us, but it wasn't very often they got anything off us. And so the last kind of 10 years, it's flip-flapped a little bit on who's been better in the league, and it has been a little bit tighter. I think it's the biggest. I think it's the game that I first look at when the fixtures come out. It's the game that they probably first look at as much as they try and play it down. They are bang up for a goal, so are we. And there's an excitement about this game. There's a nervousness, but there's no game I look forward to more going to than this one.
What do you think, mate?
Yeah, like Adam said, it's massive. I think obviously over recent years, since we've been closer in positions in the league, and obviously the 90s, they were finishing in the bottom half of the table, and it was always pretty much a given that we were going to go there, or they were going to come to Highbury and we were going to win. So yeah, over more recent years with like Harry Kane, obviously making it a massive derby. But yeah, I am confident. It just Adam's gone. I am confident. It's just it's Spurs. I just want to give them a good pasting, and it's just nerves for the game, but necessarily.
So with the teams, the teams being so close in points, is this derby is this derby the closest since memory, or is there one being closer than this?
I think it's the furthest it's away. It's been away for a few seasons, but maybe bar last season. As I say, I think 8 points. Is it that close at this point? Only 10 games in. I think that's quite a big gap, and I think Spurs fans may, the most ardent Spurs fan may disagree with me. I don't think many of them are realistically looking about finishing above us this season. I think they're looking to derail us, and they've got their own target. I think if you offered Spurs a top 5 finish this year, if that meant Champions League, they'd bite your hand off. I think if you offered them a point now, they'd get out of there straight away with a point. As much as they want to beat us, if they offered a point now, they would take it. I think whereas we are looking to win the game at home, and it's probably a bigger game for us to win than them. I think again, if they get out with a 0-0 or a 1-0, they'll be delighted, and it probably will.
Why is it a bigger game? Why would you say it's a bigger game for us than them?
Because I don't think the away team, when they're inferior to us in ability at the moment, they come into our place. It's like us when we were going to the cities and Liverpool's the last few years, and you took a point, you'd be delighted. When we were doing 0-0 at City a couple of years ago, you saw the reaction of the fans. It was like a win, and I think that's the same for Spurs. If Spurs get a draw at the Emirates, it'll be their section that we go mad at the end. It'll be their players going over. Thomas Frank will be at the front of it. We'll be trudging off, thinking it's 2 points drop, unless we come down from 2-0 down and get a couple of late goals. That's the only reason I see us really celebrating a draw on Sunday. Again, they're not. They're under a little bit of a cloud. They've got a good away record, but it's not been all rosy in the garden there. They've not been firing all cylinders. Frank's under a little bit of pressure with the football they're playing.
So what you're saying is that cycle, that since they haven't beaten us in 2022, that little psychological edge matters.
I think it's more the Emirates record, Pat. As I said, they've been us once at the Emirates since we moved there, and once in the league at our place since '93. This isn't somewhere. It really annoys me the kind of form goes out the window thing, because it really isn't the case. A lot of the time, the home team does win, and until the last few years, the home team generally won this game. And until obviously we've been a bit dominant the last couple of years at their place, but it doesn't really go out the window. It seems to be this kind of false narrative. If Spurs get something on Sunday, it'll be a big upset. I think again the bookies think it's a big upset, and I think it's a big upset. I don't think they're really. I've spoken to a few of my Spurs mates. They're not looking forward to the game. They're going there with more than hope than expectation. I think the Gabriel things have obviously raised their expectations slightly, but I don't. If one player is going to be the difference, then our squad isn't as strong as we think it is, and I think we need to kind of calm down a little bit. I think there's been a bit of a overreaction on social media about Jesus, Gabriel's out, Spurs are going to come and do us now. It's like if we're that worried, then we're not as good as we think we are.
Well, I'm going to ask you two different. I'm going to ask the same question, but I'm going to ask one to answer the Arsenal, one to answer the Spurs. So, what the question is: where are the biggest strengths for each team right now? I'm going to ask Jake to talk about the Arsenal and what you think, Adam, about the Spurs, because I think, go on. What do you reckon?
The biggest strength for us at the minute is our defence. Obviously, with the clean sheets that we've been keeping since the season started, and our general performance of hardly conceding any chances or any shots on goal, you've got to say our defence. I don't think Gyökeres will play on Sunday.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Don't jump the gun.
But I think but in terms of answering your question, I think we've also been strong up front with what Gyökeres has been doing up front and leading the line for us. So, but our strength has to be said is our defence.
Where do you see their strength, Adam?
I think away from home they've been a lot more solid under Frank. I think, especially in grounds, then probably not expect to go and win. To win 2-0 at City, to win 3-0 at Everton shows that they can set up quite a low block, and they're quite, again, Van der Ven, Romero, if they're on it, they're going to be a tough nut to crack if they're going to be sitting deep. Because I don't think they'll be overly ambitious. I'm not saying they won't hit us on the break. I think Kudus could be a big loss for him if he's out. I think that on the pace on the break, it was a big thing for him. They've got other players like Brennan Johnson, but I think Kudus would have been quite dangerous on the break against us. But I think their strength's going to be, I think they'll frustrate us. I think they'll come and try and frustrate us. And I think the issue I always have with the Emirates crowd, especially again with the week, we've had the 2 weeks off, we've drawn at Sunderland, the injury to Gabriel. If we don't start well, it could get a little bit edgy. Like last season, I think the crowd stayed with us very well. Spurs kind of sucker punched us with that goal early on, and the crowd stayed with the team, and we turned it around quite quickly. Like I think again we were leading by half time, but if we again, get a sucker punch goal or it's 0-0 at half time, we haven't created too much. My fear is that Spurs could really kind of frustrate, and the longer it goes on, the more of a chance they've got of nicking something, I think.
They've got a thing here that I'm looking at, and where it says battle of set pieces, experts. Arsenal and Spurs are almost joint. On the stuff that they're doing. Arsenal and Spurs are united in their joint set pieces. If they're really, real surprise of offer with goals. Let's put it this way. All right, set pieces. All right, we're talking goals from set pieces. Arsenal's first with 10. Spurs third with 6. Corners. Arsenal's got 8. Spurs has got 6. XGs from corners. Arsenal 4.5. Spurs 3.3. They're third. So Arsenal's first. Arsenal's first. Spurs third. Corners. Was that corners into the 6-yard box? Arsenal first, 44, and Spurs 42. And lastly, what's that one? Winning corners. Arsenal second, Spurs first. Now,
can you remember that Man United game where we won 2-0 last season? It wasn't a great game, to be fair. I think Saliba got one from a corner.
Timber as well.
I think it could be that sort of game where we just we're dominating play, we cancel each other out to a degree, and maybe nick it from a set piece. Unless Tottenham come and attack, then hopefully that'll play in our hands a little bit.
Well,
it'd be an interesting game.
I think so. Well, are Spurs more unpredictable this season then, would you say?
No, I don't think they are. I think, again, I've got some Spurs mates, and I think they've been quite. I don't think they've loved the football under Frank. Again, they've loved the results away from home, but again, they've got a really poor home record, and the crowd have got very restless. And I think they've actually gone the polar opposite of what they were last year. I think they were unpredictable under Ange, in the fact that you're never quite sure how attacking they were going to go. Now, you could switch up a little bit, but most of the time you'd go toe-to-toe with us. And I think I'd be very surprised if Frank does anything but kind of sets up to be very difficult to beat, and tries to hit us on the counter-attack. If they come and throw 3 or 4 men forward in the first 10 minutes and leave themselves quite exposed, then I'll change my mind and go, I was not seeing and expecting that at all. I think they'll become and be really dogged. I think they'll try and frustrate us for the first half an hour, and I think they'll probably, on the break, they'll try and throw one person up to try and kind of get out with Richarlison if it is him that plays up front. It wouldn't surprise me if Matthias Tell plays in front of Richarlison, and then they almost have like a 6th body in midfield. I wouldn't surprise if they didn't play an out-and-out number 9 again like they did at Leeds, and I think they will make it difficult.
Yeah, there's only one player that worries me with him, that I think is a really good player, and that's their defender. What's his name?
Van der Ven.
Yeah, Van der Ven.
I think it's going to be interesting as well. If
he reminds me a little bit of Gabriel. He does.
Who, Van der Ven? I think Van der Ven's. I think his pace helps him with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it does remind me. Just a quick thing. Who's got the most percentages of overall XGs from set plays? Who do you think that is?
Imagine us.
I'd say us, but the way you're smiling at me is you're going to say Spurs.
Oh, I ain't gonna say Spurs. I'm gonna give one more guess.
Okay.
Both of you, one more guess.
Oh, is it not? It's neither team, is it?
No, it's not.
Oh,
Maybe Everton then.
Oh, that's your last guess.
actually, from Newcastle.
No, Sunderland.
Close.
You Shackleton,
Not too far away.
Sunderland. All right, listen. Right, we're going to move into now. What we're going to be doing, moving to a little bit about the injuries. Again, sorry. Again, everyone who's listening, please let us know what you think. What we just spoke about. Are you worried about Spurs? I don't think we should be, but I am. But I don't know why I am, but I am. Please let us know what you think. What do you think the score is going to be? And yeah, so moving on to the injuries. Now, obviously, both sides have got injuries. Both sides have got quite a number of injuries. I think Spurs got 2 more than Arsenal. I think Arsenal's got 9 or something. Spurs has got about 11 players out. I mean, we've got Gabriel Martinelli, Jesus, Kai Havertz, Noni Manwaki, Martin Odegaard. We've got Gabriel Martinelli as well. I think I said that, or Gabriel Saliba, sorry, who's out. And we've got Victor Gyökeres. Is there anyone else I'm missing that's out? But saying all that,
Calafiori's a slight doubt, isn't he? I think
Calafiori,
Calafiori and even Odegaard might be back.
Calafiori, and even Timber, because he had that slit on his knee. We don't know. That could be something that as we know, after a game, your knee you can get stiff. Do you know what I mean? The joints. And we don't really know until tomorrow, until Arteta start. I mean, people start questioning him or asking him who's going to be in and who's going to be out. But one thing I was just I've heard about, and if you guys heard that, Kai Havertz had a little bit of setback. You guys heard that?
Yeah, that was through the Germany coach, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's had a slight little bit of setback.
I've heard two things though. I've heard the setback, but I've also heard that he was almost ready to go, and Arsenal held him back a little bit, and that's why Germany think he's had a setback. And hopefully that the latter is true. Again, it made me laugh this week on X/Twitter. You see all the photos of like training about 3 months ago, and it's Madueke's fit again. And so, well, no, he's wearing shorts and a t-shirt at -4. I don't think that's this week, So again, all the speculation. Again, we should know a lot more from Arteta tomorrow. But I think there'll be maybe 2 out of those 6-7 players possibly in the squad tomorrow, and I think that'll be a boost.
I think Arteta will even tell a few fibs tomorrow as well.
Or be vague at least.
Who's saying that then? So, which injury hurts Arsenal the most?
In this game, Gyökeres, I'd say.
Not just this game. In
general, Gyökeres.
In both. So you say Gyökeres, yeah?
I'd say Gyökeres. I think.
Why do you say Gyökeres?
I just think in these sort of games, we need to be stretching the defenders, especially with those sort of defenders. I think Van der Ven and Romero will deal more comfortably with Marino than they deal with Gyökeres, I would say.
Do you agree?
I think if Havertz is fit, then Gabriel's a bigger loss. I think Havertz can do what Gyökeres does in this kind of game. I think he's shown that the last 2-3 years in the big games, how well he's played in these big games. I'm not saying we should throw him in from the start tomorrow, but I think if Havertz is fit for the next kind of 2-3 weeks, I think Gabriel, again, it's nothing against Hincapié, Mosquera, whoever plays. It's just that Gabriel's leadership qualities and what he brings. It's nothing. It's not even ability wise. I think it's just, for me, he's kind of the glue that kind of holds the defense together. He's the biggest threat from set pieces, and he just the crowd so on side with him. The crowd love him, and it's like it's deflated. Yeah, he's an icon. He's a cult hero, and that's the issue. It's not. I don't think we've got a huge drop off in ability.
You've just answered my next. You just. I don't know
it's at the back.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys see my questions, boy, but you just took my next question, which is good. I mean, that's really good. I mean, that just brings it on, because I was going to ask you, would you risk Martinelli or Odegaard if they were half fit for this game?
No. I think the quality of the squad now, as you said, Pat, in recent weeks is so good. We don't need to be in a position. But in Martinelli and Odegaard, like, we don't need to be risking players at half fit these days because we have the quality to come in. There's no point buying the 5-6 players we did if you're going to start, kind of risking players at half fit. Now, I don't think Arteta would even risk, would think about it. I think unless you're fully fit, you're not going to be in the squad for a North London derby. Anyone that's in the squad, I think, will be fully fit. And now I'm not saying they're going to start, but I think they'll be fit enough to not worry about them having a setback. And again, I don't think Martinelli and Odegaard have been pulling up enough trees in the last season to go.
Not even just Martin Odegaard. I mean, let's just say, all right, let's just say it could be Gyökeres. It could be Victor Gyökeres, or even Havoc. I mean, whatever.
I think there's two players that I would risk at 80% fit, and it's Zubimendi and Rice. For me, those two, if you lost one of those two for Spurs. Nothing against Norgard, nothing against whoever else could play that. I think that would be a major blow, and I'll be tempted to play one of them. But even then, I'd be like, okay, not at the detriment of the season. I have to be very confident they're going to get through the game fairly unscathed.
What do you reckon about that? You agree with that?
It's hard because it's just like so up in the air. It's like 2 weeks ago, I thought we'd have like a truckload of players back for Spurs. I thought,
that's what I thought. I just thought. Yeah.
But at the minute, obviously we'll find out more tomorrow, but at the minute it looks like probably Calafiori and Odegaard are the only ones that are pretty much going to be back in the squad, so to say. I think Calafiori will probably end up starting. But again, hopefully he's got like a little ace up his sleeve with Gyökeres, and he's been fine all along. I hope. But it's good because we're getting these injuries back at a good time. We've got a good run of games coming now. So yeah, we need everyone back fit and fighting for places.
I'm just going to quickly, ask you guys, what is it with Arsenal and injuries? For the last 2-3 seasons, Arsenal's been having major injuries. Now, some people are saying it's the way they've been coached. Some people are blaming it on the pitch. Some people are saying it's just too much games. One person's, they're having. What would you put your fingers on? What if you can point at one or two things, Jake? Where would you start?
It's so difficult. Stop international breaks. do you know what I mean? It's so difficult to say. It's obviously a heavy workload on these players. Obviously, having to travel, not having the best time to recover. Obviously, every 3 days. Obviously, now the team's getting the bigger squads, you can ease that work, make that workload a bit easier. But if you're on a starting 11 team, you're going to be playing once every 3 days. A player like Gabriel, for example, and then you're going to be playing 2 games for Brazil in the international break, and it is going to be non-stop. But it's hard to really point down on one thing because there's so many factors that obviously can cause the injury. But you've got to say the amount of games. I would say would probably be the major point.
Adam, would you?
I don't think it's that much more than it was 10 years ago. I think it's just the size of the squad and the quality of the squad. It's a little bit more noticeable now. Years ago, we'd have injuries where you say people would be out for 4 weeks and end up being out for 3 months. I think where it's been highlighted more now is the quality of player that we're losing. And I looked at the Spurs injury list the other day, and I looked at Arsenal's one, and I thought, how many of those Spurs players are actually going to start in the Spurs 11? That was the difference for me. Like, now I know Spurs are saying that.
Yeah, I agree. I
looked at 4 or 5 of them and thought, you're nowhere near the squad. I think the centre back. I don't think I've seen him in the league this year. They were trying to claim he was one of their big injuries. I think that's for me the difference is like you look at the amount of injuries we've got, and you still look at the 11 we're going to put out on Sunday, and it should be a top draw 11. And that's the difference. I think when we were losing players 3 or 4 years ago, it was like, oh God, we just can't afford to lose 2 players because the squad just was decimated. Now, we were losing 7 or 8 players back then, but a lot of those were kind of fringe players, like I just said about Spurs. Now, if you lose, the names you just reeled off are all international quality. They're all like, big players for us. And even with 6, 7 injuries, you're still looking at that and going, that back 4 bar Gabriel is probably as strong as it's going to be. The keepers there, Zubimendi and Rice are going to be fit. Saka's going to be there. You're looking at it going, Jesus, 8 of our best 11, and we're talking about 7 or 8 injuries. And even the players that are coming in, Trossard is playing well. Like, would Martinelli have started over him? And I think that's the issue. It's like when you've got a squad of 25 top class players, where in the past we had 14 or 15, 8 injuries suddenly looks a lot bigger than it actually is, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. So is this Arsenal's weakest squad taken into the derby recently, would you say?
No. we've had much worse squads. Well, it maybe in Arteta's. Well, no. It's probably one of our strongest, even with the injuries, I'd say.
Or did you mean this season, Pat? Do you mean it's the weakest squad we've had this season?
I'm talking about for this game because a lot of our players are out.
I think if you're asking if it's the weakest squad we've had going into a Premier League game this season, probably. I think if you're talking about, I don't think the bench will be overloaded with talent like it has been for all the other games. If that's what you mean, then I think the bench could have a couple of players that, would be fringe players. Whereas, you've got to look at other bench players. You looked at the other benches and some of the teams. You think, Christ, is about, any one of the 8 could come on and change this game. We might have a couple of real fringe players. But yeah, I agree with Jake. If you're looking at kind of Spurs games and some of the players we played, you're looking back over, 5-6 years ago, and we had the old Gabriel Paulista at centre back with Rob Holding and stuff. And then I think we're miles ahead of that, even with the injuries.
So are you, Jake, 100% on your heart to finish this side off? On your heart, we have got the squad. We've got the players. Don't worry about. We're going to talk about the players in a minute. We've got the squad, the depth to see it through this on Sunday.
100%. It's like last year. Maybe we'd be worrying now because we'd be saying, "Oh, well, Kivior's got to come in." And Kivior, don't get me wrong, he made me change my opinion of him with his performances. Don't get me wrong, but even now, it's like we've got a level above Kivior to come in, I would say. So it's these sort of details and these sort of little progressions that are hopefully going to get us closer to this winning this league. But yeah, of course, we're in a lot of better position squad-wise. And yeah, I think Sunderland was a bit of an eye-opener as far as looking at the bench and seeing, obviously, we could tell that we were ravaged with injuries because we didn't really have anyone else to come on and really change the game for us, I'd say, against Sunderland. So as I said, it's just injuries to come back.
You just said that we didn't have anyone. We've been talking about from the beginning of the season. Arsenal's got the best squad depth in the Premier League.
Well, we did, but we had no forwards to come on, did we, against Sunderland?
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. I see that point.
Because I think
do we have the best squad then?
Yeah, I think when you have when you have Havertz, Gyökeres, and Jesus out, then you can't really legislate for 3 big injuries up front there. And Martinelli, if you're talking a 4th one as well, none of those 4 there. Like you still play Marino up front, but having four people in the same position now, you can't legislate for that. If City had 3 strikers out, say they had Haaland, Marmoush, and I don't even know the 3rd striker is off the top of my head, but God knows they'd be playing up front.
Yeah, I'll take the point. Well, look, again, everyone in the chat who's listening, watching, please let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about the injuries. Why do you think it's happening? And are you confident once again for Sunday? Please let us know. What we're going to be doing now, we're going to be moving on to the predictions of the starting 11. Now, I've put something together, and I want to, before I do start my putting my team out, because the last time I put my team out, these 2 laughed at me for some reason. All right, so I'm not.
He didn't make the bench that game, did
he? So I want to hear you lot have to say, all right, about your start 11, and then I'm going to show mine after. And everyone else in the chat, please let us know what your starting 11 will be. Who would you start and who would you leave out? So
can we say what we want or what Arteta's
No, you say what you want. You say what you want. You say what you. Do you know what I mean? Okay, let me hear yours. Let me hear yours first, Jake. Starting with the goalkeeper.
Lehman in goal. Raya in goal. The defence is very interesting to me because I wouldn't mind seeing Timber at centre back, but then that would mean Ben White would have to come in at right back, which I don't have a problem with, and I think he'd be well up and the type of player I want in a North London derby. But what I think Arteta will do is Timber, Saliba, Hincapié, Calafiori. Are we going through the whole thing, or my?
Yeah, no, you're going through the whole.
What I think Arteta will do: Raya, Timber, Saliba, Hincapié, Calafiori, Zubimendi, Rice, Eze, Trossard. I don't think Gyökeres will be fit. Marino, Saka.
Okay. Sorry, who are you putting in place for Gabriel?
Hincapié.
Hincapié.
Your mate.
Okay. Adam?
I'm the same as Jake, but I think Mosquera will start over Hincapié. I think there's obviously a small chance Hincapié will start at left back if Calafiori's not fit. I don't think it's funny. There's been a few kind of talk about will Lewis Skelly play. I don't think he plays either way. I think if Calafiori's out, then I think Hincapié will play left back and Mosquera will play centre back. And equally, if Calafiori's fit, I think Mosquera will just play centre back. I just think Mosquera's played a little bit more football this season at centre back for us in big games. I think Hincapié is obviously he's a talent. He's played at a big club. But I think coming in.
Can I just quickly ask you there?
Yeah.
Okay, you're bringing in Mosquera.
Yeah.
Right. Is he going to be playing left centre?
Yeah, I think he will.
No.
Because of his left.
No.
Sorry. Go on. Adam.
No, again, I know there's this thing about the left-footed, right-footed thing. Now, Liverpool will play Konate and Van Dijk, both right-footed. Our unbeaten team.
Shit.
Kolo Toure and Sol Campbell, both right-footed. Martin Keown, Tony Adams. I think people are overthinking the left-footed, right-footed thing. Now, it's if you play centrally in a football team, the left-footed, right-footed thing isn't a big. Like, I'd be more worried if we had a left back that was predominantly right-footed and he's being kind of taken down the outside every time. As a centre back, I get that there's a nice balance to it. It looks nice when you've got a left-footed one on the left side and you're at right foot. But I don't think it's as important people are making out. And I think Mosquera, his experience this year playing at Anfield. At St James, I think he's ready for. I'm not saying Hincapié's not ready. I just think it'd be harsh on Mosquera not to start this game on the basis of that he's already had played some big games for us, and Hincapié has probably played more minutes in the Champions League and in the Carabao against probably the weaker opposition in those competitions.
Right. Okay. Go on. Sorry. Sorry. So give me your four back.
So I think it'd be Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Mosquera, and then Calafiori, and then Trossard, Zubimendi, Rice, Eze, Saka, and probably Merino. I think there's a small question mark over Merino if one of Gyökeres and Havertz is fit.
No.
But I think the team pretty much picks itself bar the left back and centre back positions.
Right.
I don't hate the thought of Ben White playing centre back. I know Jake said about Ben White playing at right back. I know Ben White played a couple of years ago at centre back, and he was bought as a centre back. And I think what I do like about Ben White is he knows the fixture, and he kind of he's used to that. He's used to kind of playing in and being a calm influence. He was. I loved it when he wound up Vicario, kind of trying to pulling out his gloves a couple of years ago. And I think he just gets it. So it wouldn't massively surprise me to see White play, but as I say, I'm sticking to what I've gone with.
Okay, fine. Well, as you can see, I've just pulled it up. This is what I've come up with, but I've come up with some other controversials as well. But I'm going to start off with this. What how does that look?
That's Jake's team, isn't it?
That's my team, buddy. Thanks for that.
Oh.
You did that quick.
Yeah.
To be fair, I was thinking about it. You've got to keep these partnerships like Timber and Saka on the right.
Right. Okay. So
maybe that's
you're happy with that, yeah?
Yeah, I think he will. That's the team I think.
Okay. The only thing what they're saying about it in Hincapié is because obviously he's just travelled back halfway around the world. He hasn't really played.
Did he play Wednesday?
No.
He didn't play. Did he not play Wednesday?
I don't think he did.
I think South America did play a little bit later, didn't they? I think.
Did he not score an unbelievable goal as well?
No. Did he?
I didn't see it, but.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if he started. Maybe someone could tell us in the chat that he did, yes or no, started with that. But so far, are you guys happy with that? I mean, not you, Adam, because obviously.
No, I wouldn't be unhappy with it, Pat. I wouldn't be worried if that was the situation. I just think Mosquera will start.
Right. The reason why I say Mosquera shouldn't be on that left-hand side is because you've got Hincapié. If he's fit enough, that is where he should play. Some people are saying that they should put Saliba on the left-hand side and put Mosquera on the right-hand side. Now, I think that's a little bit.
That's what I think would happen if that happened. I think Mosquera would play on the right and Saliba would play where Gabriel.
I wouldn't do that because you've got the players. These are the players. This is the very reason. Or even if Calafiori was fit, he can play on the left hand side because he does that for Italy.
It's an option.
So,
To be fair, Hincapié and Calafiori, they both play in a 3, don't they? So
both of them play on that play there. So why not just leave it where people the position that you're comfortable with? I wouldn't swap it around.
I've seen a couple of people say about Calafiori at centre back and Lewis Kelly at left back.
Don't jump the gun.
Sorry.
Right, because
we need Pat's pre-match notes, don't we?
No, listen, guys. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to send it to you, man. I'm gonna have to send you all my pre in advance. Now, this one here, I've got, and see what you guys think about this one here.
I was happy with that one, mate.
What do you think of? Oh, sugar! What's that? What's happening there?
Are we playing? Are we starting?
I don't know what I've done there, boy.
I'm playing left back.
I'm on the wing.
I don't know what I've done there, but let me just. Sorry about that. Let me just do that again. I think so.
I think we're most mobile defence if you and me were at the back.
Do you reckon when I take my crutches in, they'll store them for me so I can walk around the ground like as in normal and then get my crutches at the end or something? Do you reckon they'll do that?
Say it's unlikely. Yeah.
I think so, mate. Right, have a look at this one. Am I going too far here?
Why? There's a lot of rotation here, Pat.
No, you're getting a bit excited here, mate. I don't know what's happened here. Like,
surprised you kept Ryrie in goal with that defence.
Jesus Christ!
I was thinking. A
lot of dragging involved.
I was thinking about it. No, but the reason why this is the reason why I'm going on with this. All right, because number one, this is my thinking. Calafiori is not fully fit. We don't know if he is or if he isn't. If he isn't, you need to stick Lewis in there, 100%. Hincapié, he plays there. All right, he's very familiar with that position. That is where I'm going to keep him because we don't know if Calafiori or what's his is going to be is in the game. I mean, sorry, fully fit. So we don't know. So this is what I'm thinking. So if he's not, I'm going to put him there. Ben White. The reason why I put Ben White there again because Timber had a very deep gash in his knee. You don't know the after effects. Once he's slowed down, now he's not training, he's relaxing on it. Could it be stiff? Could he get stiff? Could it feel very painful next day?
Feels like that. He'll be playing ready.
Okay, well, I'm just saying a scenario. You don't know that because you haven't picked the team.
Where's David O'Leary then?
Sorry?
Where's David O'Leary?
Well, I've got him a sub. Got him on the next one. All right. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking outside the box. All right, moving on. That's just another thing, okay? Then Mourinho, the reason why I put in Mourinho there, we ain't got a forward. All right, and I think Eze can do the job. I really think Eze could do a job up front. What do you think?
I think Eze's strength is kind of running at players. I don't think as a number 9 back to goal would be his strength. If I was to keep that team, which I don't want it to be the team, but if that was the lineup, I'd put Trossard up front and Eze on the left. If you were playing that front 3, I think Trossard's been there and done it already. I think he's got that ability to kind of unlock a defence, and I think Eze from the left would be more dangerous. I think Spurs would be more worried about Eze and Saka on the wings in that formation with Trossard than the other way around. I'll tell you what, I'll say nothing against these players individually. If that was our defence on Sunday, I would be worried walking in the Emirates just because of the amount of minutes they've had. You know, if you look at White, Hincapié and Lewis Kelly in the league this year, they're probably about 3 appearances between them. You know, like that is not a lot of appearances to go and play a back 4 again in the derby.
I still think those three there can still do the job.
Oh, they're top class players. I'm not saying they're not great players, but you know, if you piece together the best 4 defenders in the world and made them play together as a back 4 on Sunday, they'd probably look a bit shaky in the first half hour. Like, I'm not saying they haven't trained together, but this back 4's never played together.
No, but they've trained together. They've trained together, and I'm sure if this was the scenario, and that was the injury, and that was what we had, I'm sure they'd be working together on the but behind closed doors. So it's not just about throwing them in there.
No, it's a different beast, though, isn't it? Yeah, being in a derby as a back four.
Yeah, okay, fine. I mean, I'm not saying this is going to be it, but it's just a scenario.
Yeah,
what's wrong with it? Do you know what I mean?
That's it. I'll give you a oneer.
If
that's the starting lineup, I'll give you a oneer.
Let's do it. Give the money myself. Yeah.
Okay, so what about what about this one? You never know. All right, you never know. I'm just going through my scenarios. I'm just going through my scenarios.
Back on loan.
Right. What's wrong with this?
What's wrong with that?
I think it makes more sense than the last one, if I'm honest.
I think you're going to have to swap Mourinho and Eze.
You're going to have to swap them.
You'd have to swap them.
Okay.
Not too mad at it, but yeah, you need that more consistency at the back.
You're convinced about this gash on Timber's knee, aren't you, Pat?
Well, you don't see, because the reason why he's saying that, because if I'll be honest, if it's on top of his knee, and as they say, the reports did say it was a really deep gash on his knee. Now, whether it's if it's underneath, if it's under the bottom, that's not too bad. But on top of it, where the joint is, that is pretty. The after effects, the next day, your knee can literally swell. It can be. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. The thing is, as Jake would say, a 10% fit Timber's probably good enough to start anyway.
Yeah, listen. I mean, look. I'm just thinking. I'm not saying he's not going to start. I'm sure he will be, but I'm just putting scenarios out there to see what. To see if
I think it's testament to how good Timber's been that we're even questioning would White be a drop off. Because White, in the last 2-3 years, I think White was one of the best right backs in the league. I had no problems about him. I've watched him in derby after derby, never concerned, always turns up. And it shows you the levels that Timber's hit that we're thinking, it could be a little bit of a drop off if White comes in at right back.
So what about Lewis Skelly? Would you be happy if Calafiori was out?
Can we just talk about this? Can we just talk about the big elephant in the room? That has probably made me nervous. We should discuss at the start is Michael Oliver, which I'm probably.
We can talk about that. We'll talk about him in a minute. We'll talk about it in a minute. Let's just finish off the players. Would you be?
Yeah, sorry, that was on the point of Miles Lewis Skelly, but yeah.
Would you be happy to have him there?
I'd be a little bit worried, to be honest.
After everything he's done in the beginning, I
like Miles as a player, I do, but I don't think defensively. I've said it before, and it's not the first time I've said it on here. I think defensively, he's still got a bit to learn. And I think if you're losing Gabriel, I always felt that Gabriel was massive for Lewis Skelly, because if Lewis Skelly did fall asleep a little bit, Gabriel would mop it up. Now, if you have Lewis Skelly playing without Gabriel, and I think he's not played an awful lot of football this season, Spurs' strength can be a little bit down the wings at times. Again, they've had Kudos, Johnson, they do kind of attack down those wide areas. I would actually call their central midfield's quite stodgy. Like Paulinho and Bentancur, whoever plays in there, it's not really the most creative central midfield without Kulusevski or Madison. And I think they do kind of try and create a little bit down the wings. And I'd be a little bit worried they would target him a little if Gabriel wasn't there. It's nothing against him long term. I think he will come good. I just think Calafiori and Timber have been so solid as fullbacks. I would be a little concerned defensively if Miles played on Sunday, personally.
Wow. I think the reason I mentioned Michael Oliver is just because the Lewis Skelly can be quite rash.
Yeah.
And Michael Oliver will eat that up. And he will happily give out the card. So if Lewis Skelly does one of those challenges where he's just a bit late, or it's a clever little challenge, he will book him, and he'll book him again, and he'll be off.
He's on, but he also Michael Oliver. I mean, I didn't want to talk about him right now, but because I want to finish up, Michael Oliver is on. He's treading on eggshells as well. He knows he can't be giving out stupid little things because you got to remember he's not.
He doesn't care, mate. He's done it every game.
No, he's not refereed Arsenal's game for the last 10 months. He's been banned from refereeing any of Arsenal's games. I really cannot believe that the referee association has given him this game. It makes no sense.
I don't love the appointment, but I also don't love the reaction of the fans. I think if we start worrying about the referee at home to Spurs, then we've got big problems. Again, if he makes the balls out, then we'll moan about it afterwards. But I don't think we're helping ourselves by thinking about it. You know, again, Spurs are coming at home. If we're thinking that we need the referee to kind of not give us, I think we're really worrying about it. Like,
I understand that, but
whoever the referee is on Sunday, we'll get booed and go, "Oh God, it's that referee." No, I think we're overthinking it. I think the reaction on social media has been a little worrying.
I've not read any of the reactions on social media, whatever. But at the end of the day, he didn't help himself.
No, I agree.
The thing about it, they have to sit down, and I reckon they did sit down, all right, with him, and they done their research, and they looked at every single game. Michael Oliver have refereed Arsenal's game, and they're thinking something's not right. And that is why they never let him play referee an Arsenal game for over 10 months.
The only thing I'd say about it is, Pat, the only thing I would disagree with that on that is that, you know, he refereed our game at Wolves in January. We were pretty much out of the title race by then, so we didn't really have a huge game from February to May in the Prem.
No, but that's not the point. But
my point is, I think the FA see him as one of their top 2-3 referees.
Yeah, but there ain't a lot of there's not a lot of top referees. And there ain't a lot of referees in England.
But they see him as one they would assign to a big game. You know, he's had Manchester derbies and, you know, Merseyside derbies. I think they'll look at it and go, he's a referee that's had a lot of experience. He's one of our big referees, and Arsenal Spurs. Yeah, they just happen to put it on there. Now we're going to read into it and say it's been 10 months, but I think they're going to get out of it on that.
I think that they had a look at what he the last few or how long he's been refereeing Arsenal. They've looked at some of the decisions that what I feel questionable, and especially I think, and the last one, the straw that what broke the camel's back was the Lewis Skelly red card, because not only did he just pull it out quicker than what you can say Jack Robinson or whatever, but he went to the monitor as well. And 99% of people would say that's not a red card. And he still went to the monitor and still gave that red card. And they looked at that, and they must have sat down with him and say, look, hang on a minute. How could you go to the monitor? All right, granted, I got you, because the angle you might have been at, you must have thought as red card, but you went to the monitor and you still gave a red card. And that's my personal opinion. But moving on from that, my last prediction, guys, what do you reckon about this one here?
Is there a new one coming up, bro?
This is a new one. No, you can't say
different. Yeah, I think the first slide's going to do it, mate.
No, because you got Calafiori back there. All right, you got Timber back. Okay, you got Timber back. I've moved what's his name back there, and I've put Calafiori Mourinho back up front.
I don't mind that lineup. If that lineup came out, I mean, again, Lewis Skelly would be my concern there. I think Calafiori is a very good centre back. I would still be a little bit concerned with Miles playing on Sunday on the lack of football he's had. And as Jake says, I think he can be a little bit rash in these games.
I really am surprised. I really am surprised you guys are saying that, because the last time, when he was in and Calafiori was out and deputising Calafiori, he was the best thing since sliced bread. But now
he is going forward, but he has just got that rash challenge about him, where he is still learning the trade as a left back. And
that's the nervousness of a derby. If Miles played against Bayern Munich on Wednesday night, I'd be thinking, okay, like, yeah, and that's they've got arguably a much bigger threat from the wings, and I think I'd be okay with that. But I'd say,
but as a manager as well,
a
manager, you have to manage his time.
Of course,
and you've got to remember as well, he's already been told by the England manager, you need playing time. And if let's just say, for instance, he didn't get it, and you put in Capier there, or you put Calafiori there, and you put Watson, he's gonna have doubts in his mind.
He's still going to get plenty of games. I just don't.
Yeah, but this is what we've got the squad for. And again, I mean, we can agree to disagree, but I feel that we've got the squad. Bring the players in. Give them their opportunity. You believe in them or you don't believe in them. And
I think he'll play most midweek. So Pat, like as Jake said, like we've got Bayern Munich on Wednesday. I think he is a good chance he starts that game. We've got Brentford the Wednesday after. I think it's a good chance he comes in on one of those games. If you want to,
we've got Chelsea, haven't we?
Yeah, what I'm saying is I'm talking about midweek games.
Yeah.
Like I think Spurs and Chelsea, California play. I think Lewis Skelly could easily play against Munich and Brentford. Then you got Bruges and there's so many games coming up in the next.
And he likes like we said before, he likes certain players for certain games. So I think we will see the Martinellis and Lewis Skelly's more in the Champions League rather than the Prem.
Okay, all right. Before I finish this off, any wild cards you'll put in there?
I would love Gyökeres to just last minute call start, but I wouldn't be too bothered with that first slide you had.
I think if Odegaard's fit, then that could be interesting. You know, again, he does. If Odegaard's fit, he doesn't often not play. So if he does,
seems to be a bit of a rumble that today, isn't it?
And if he is fit, I think there's a small.
Yeah, I've had enough of him. Yeah, I think there's and you start Eze on the left maybe and Trossard up top.
Yeah, that's a potential.
Sorry, say again. So what? You'll put Eze on the left, on the right?
On the left.
No, I was just saying if
you put
Adam says if Odegaard starts
on the left,
put Eze on the left, but then where would Trossard?
Right, so you put Eze on the left, and you put Trossard up front.
But then you can't really drop Trossard on this form at the minute. So yeah, difficult one. Good options to have.
Okay, what's going on with him?
He's got to pay his internet bills, mate. You know what I mean?
Are you all right, buddy?
Oh, what's going on with the connection? I'm just losing it. I can still hear you. Weirdly, I can still hear you when I go offline. So
on the tube.
Don't say bad. I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So all right then. So let's go. Let's just go with. I'm going to ask you first, Adam. Score.
2-1. I've changed my mind. I'm going to. I was 2-0. I'm now going 2-1. I'm going. Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit nervier than it was a week ago.
He was confident at the start.
I can see. I think we'll win, but I think we might concede.
Go on. What do you reckon?
It was 2-1 last year. I think it'll be 2-1 again.
You going to what?
I think it was 2-1 last year. I'll go with that one again. 2-1.
Well, I'm going for 3-0. I'm going for a 3-0. I am going for a 3-0.
You
remember that. It wasn't 2-1 last time.
It was.
What do you mean? I thought it was a draw. Wasn't it? Our last game was a draw.
It wasn't. We beat him 2-1.
We beat him 2-1. Trossard.
What, Highbury? I mean Highbury. Emirates.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. What was the game? What was the game?
It was a night game.
Yeah.
What was the game?
Son scored first.
Hang on a minute. Our last game, we drew.
No, we didn't. We haven't drawn it. It was the year before we drew at home with them. Season before we beat him home and away last year.
Trossard scored it was the first half, and then the second half.
What was the game when what's his name slips up?
That was the season before, Jorginho.
My bad, everyone. My bad. Please forgive me. All right, I thought the Scums drew with us last season, but apparently I've been corrected. Okay, fine. So Adam, you're saying 2-1.
Yeah.
You're saying the same thing, Jake. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not. I predict they ain't going to score against us. I doubt. I'm putting either a 2 or 3-0 to the Arsenal.
Who's scoring?
Who is scoring? I am going for my goals. Are going. I'm putting Trossard as one. I'm giving him one to Saliba, and I'm giving the other one to Eze.
I fancy Eze. I think Eze's got to do something again for us.
He's got to score to tell them why he couldn't have them.
I think it's going to be a Declan Rice day. I've got a feeling that Rice is going to come up with a big goal on Sunday. It's a bit of a bold shout, but I've got a feeling Rice is going to score either a free kick or go.
Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me. A little timber flick on header.
Yeah, something's going to happen. Yeah, Rice is going to have a big game on Sunday.
They'll have to wheel me out.
I'm going to quickly just ask the fans a couple of quick to answer a few things and put into the comments. Who's in your starting 11? Which injury worries you the most? Should Odegaard start if he's not 100% fit? Your score predictions. Favorite North London derby moment ever. I'm going to ask you guys the same thing. Jake, favorite North London derby ever, and why?
As a kid, the Henry at Highbury. That goal where he ran the whole length of the pitch, and obviously he's got the statue outside now. More recently, hard to say more recently. That Van Persie game was good, but I can't say it. The Van Persie just upsets me. I can't think more recently, which is probably goal-wise, the Havertz ball to Saka and Saka to cut in at their place. That was a big moment. I can't think off the top of my head.
All right, let me just.
I can't think more recently.
Let me just quickly ask Adam. What's yours, Adam?
I think. Well, again, I'll go for getting time out. Winning the league at the Lane. I know we didn't win the game.
Oh shit!
That was. I mean, I was 17. I had a lot of Spurs mates, and that was just a dream, winning it there and on the way to an unbeaten season. I know we didn't win the game in the end, but we actually walloped in the first half. It could have been 4-0 at half time. And that, for me, that was a moment. One of the young ones when I was a kid was, I think it was Dennis Bergkamp's goal, you know, when we beat him 3-1 at Highbury in the rain in about 96. And when he cut inside, because Bergkamp had been going wrong for me. Yeah, and obviously Tony Adams got the third. That for me as a game. In recent years, we won 1-0 at the Lane, the Rosicki goal from about 30 yards. I was actually there that day, and everything about Spurs. It was the first time I've seen us win in the league there, and it was just, you know, when you go down there and there's that animosity, and we won there, and the goal that made us win it was just, that's one of my favourite memories, because say you go and win at their place, it's just like you walk out of there you walk out with your head held down at first to try and obviously not get battered, but yeah, it's the emotions were amazing.
No. Well,
what about the Smith Rowe one?
That was
was it 3-1 that game? Where we went 3-0 up?
I tell you what, again, one of my other favourites was when Fabregas scored the goal.
Straight away from
we were still celebrating the goal before, and he ran through about 4 players. That was incredible as well.
Do you know what? With that goal, I wish he celebrated in front of the Tottenham fans, and I think that would have been just so iconic, because they were just left, weren't they? And he went to us, but
that's a great memories.
Right, before I shut down, guys, is there anything else we need to speak about? Because I'm getting a bit nervous.
Briefly, got Munich on Wednesday as well. Maybe a quick mention. Munich.
We can mention. We can talk briefly about the Munich game. Go ahead, start off with it, Adam.
Yeah, the one you look forward to.
We're going to talk about Champions League.
Yeah, what I like about this game as well is, like, you know, because we're both on 12 points. I said if we do lose, it's not the end of the world, and I think it's just going to be, for me, probably 2 of the best 3 teams in Europe at the moment, if not the best 2 actually on current form. And yeah, I love everything about. I love the German teams coming over there. Yeah, their fans are superb. They've got a great side. I think they'll have a go at us. We'll have a go at them. Under the lights of the Emirates, it's sandwiched in between Spurs and Chelsea. It's one of these weeks that, you know, when you, all the highs and lows you have of football, this is what you live for. You live for, you know, 2 massive London derbies and a huge Champions League game. This is the weeks you look forward to, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's weird. Normally with Munich coming up on a Wednesday night, if you had, no disrespect, if you had a Fulham or a West Ham or a Burnley, you'd be thinking about it already. It's only because of Spurs, but come Monday, you'd be going, oh, here we go, Munich are coming to town on Wednesday. So yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be a really good test to see where we're at. And if we can win both games, then Christ, you know, enthusiasm and optimism will go to the roof.
That's it. Go on, Jake.
Yeah, like Adam said, it's massive, and as I said, it's these sort of weeks. These are the pivotal parts of the season that we want to all be involved in. So it's massive. We owe them. I think the last time we played them was at 2-2, wasn't it, at ours, with no fans, or none of their fans. So we do owe them.
But we got to remember. I mean, you guys can have a look at what's been said down there. This is all in space of 7. Is it 7 days?
Yeah,
I do think, like Adam said, it's not a big. If we drop points, as in if it's a draw, I'm not too fussed, because we're still in a really good position. But
yeah, if we had to pick one game to lose the next 3, I'd pick Munich. Like,
100%.
Yeah. Okay, fine. In fact, that's a really good question.
All our eggs in the Prem basket.
Yeah,
that's a really good thing to ask. Ask the people who are listening. If you had to drop or lose a game out of Tottenham, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea, which one is it? Please let us know in the comments.
Predict how many points we're getting, boys.
Predict how many points do you think Arsenal will get? In fact, if Arsenal beat Bayern Munich, Arsenal will be on top of the Champions League.
Yeah, but out of 9 points, what are we getting?
Out of 9 points?
I'm between 5 and 7.
I'm going for all 9.
I don't think we'll lose any of them. I don't think we'll lose any of them. But I think
I'm going for all 9.
I think we'll beat Spurs. I think there's a chance we draw the other 2.
I'm going for all 9 because I'll tell you something right now.
Remember when we had a week like this? They're not as great teams, but I think was it last January we had Spurs, Man United, and Villa.
Yeah,
and I think we beat Spurs. We lost to United. That was the FA Cup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
FA Cup? Yeah, we lost at Man United, and then what happened? What happened against Thingy? And then we drew to Villa.
Yeah.
Would you take 4 points out of Spurs and Chelsea if it was offered to you now?
Nope.
Would you not?
No, I wouldn't.
I would take beating Spurs. I'd take a draw at Bayern Munich. Against Bayern Munich, and I'd take a draw at Chelsea.
Honest to God, the way I feel, all right, there's no way we can be losing to Tottenham. There's no way we can be losing, not to Bayern Munich. I want 7 points.
I don't know. Again, it'd be interesting what City do on Saturday night in Newcastle. Now, Newcastle haven't been brilliant this season, but Newcastle away is always a tough game, as we saw Liverpool saw. I know we both won there, but it wasn't. It was both really late. I think Newcastle are home to a City, it's like a Champions League game to them. They'll be buzzing. And I think if Newcastle can somehow get something off City on Saturday night, then we rock into the Emirates on Sunday. I think that result could change the vibe of Sunday a little bit. If City go to St James's and win 3-0, I think there'll be a little bit more of an edgy feel on Sunday. If Newcastle can get something off City, then we rock into the Emirates going, here we go. We can extend the lead again. Okay, guys. Well, look, I just want to say thanks to Adam and Jake for joining me and all the listeners. This could be the most unpredictable derby this season, this year, I think.
Fucking ain't not.
Yeah. All right. So please leave your comments and please follow and please let us know your predictions, what you think is going to win and what the score is going to be. And we will be back to analyze the Spurs game. And it's going to be the Spurs and Munich game. So, so looking forward to that. Thanks, everyone. Please subscribe. Please like. Please share. Please subscribe and tell us what you think. And, so I just want to say thanks to Adam.
Cheers, Pat.
And I want to say thanks to Jake, who really is a Tottenham supporter. And
behave yourself.